guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. Well, it's been a minute. We haven't talked about Genie Plus in a bit, so we're gonna do another fully explained but yet updated Genie Plus video. And you guys might be asking me why. Well, as you probably know, I have many Genie Plus videos out there, and many of them have kind of gone viral. So thank you very much, guys, for being fans of those videos. But since I put out that original video, you know, the one with the straws, if you know what I'm talking about, Disney has kind of updated and changed and adjusted Genie Plus a few times since that video. And because now that we've been using Genie Plus for a while, I wanted to do a more updated, kind of streamlined, but yet fully explained video regarding Genie Plus at this time. And of course, I am talking the end of 2022. We do not know what 2023 is gonna bring in terms of Genie Plus. We don't know what Iger is gonna do in terms of Genie Plus. Is he gonna get rid of the entire system? Is he gonna change and adjust the system? We don't know, but until then, until we know more, this is gonna be, like I said, a fully updated and explained video on Genie Plus. The what, the how, the tips and tricks, all combined in this one video. However, if this video is still kind of like confusing you, then you should probably go back to my original video, which I have fully explained the entire process. This is, like I said, a more updated, because some of the things in that older video are just not true today. So maybe watching both will be key, but let's get into it, shall we? So the first question is, what is Genie Plus, Nina? I mean, what is Genie Plus? So for those of you who remember Fast Passes, yep, those are long and gone. Genie Plus is now the new and updated Fast Pass, not really. It's the only way you can skip the line at Disney. So just like Fast Passes was a pass you would physically get on your phone 60 days in advance, and then you would go to the park and you got to skip the line. Remember all of that? Genie Plus is similar. You don't get the pass in advance, but you do still get it on your phone, and it does allow you to skip the line. In fact, that same line, that same Fast Pass line that you used to use, you're using that exact line again, except now it's called the Lightning Lane. That's right. But that's what Genie Plus is. Genie Plus is a paid for version, kind of like Fast Passes, at Disney World as a way that you can skip the line. You guys with me? And in case you want to know, it does work for most rides, attractions, and experiences. But of course, you want to see the list because they are always changing. They are always actually adding things to the list. I usually pop up the list, but you can also check them online when you're in the app. So you can skip the lines for, like I said, most of the rides, meet and greet with characters, and even parade spots and even shows. So similar to Fast Passes, this is your skip the line situation. Makes sense? But some of the key things that you need to know about Genie Plus are indeed the rules, because unfortunately when they came out with this system, they kind of made it a little complicated. It is not black and white. It is not cut and dry. It's got some issues. I'm just going to be honest. So knowing the rules, knowing how and when to do Genie Plus is really going to be key during your vacation. So first, the rules. First rule, you can only use it once per ride, aka no double dipping. If you love the Haunted Mansion, you cannot Genie Plus the Haunted Mansion twice in a single day. That's what I mean by using it once per ride. How do you get the pass? Well, you start by getting passes at 7 a.m. This is for all guests, not just Disney Resort guests. All people going to the Disney theme park that day, you can start actually getting your passes at 7 a.m. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter where you are. You could be in your pajamas in your hotel room. You could be a local in Orlando. You could be in line at the theme park if it opens that early, but it doesn't matter physically where you are, but you can start getting them at 7 a.m. Now, for those of you who are going to ask next, well, how do I get the second pass, right? You will actually then get the second pass 2 hours after official park opening. So if you're going during early morning hours, it's not 2 hours after that time. It's not 2 hours after rope drop. It's 2 hours after official park opening. So hopefully this makes sense. You get your first pass at 7, and if you haven't ridden it yet and if you haven't done anything, you can actually get your second pass 2 hours after park opening, thus making 2 passes here, if you guys get where I'm going with this. So if park opens at 9, you would get that second pass at 11. Does this make sense? We're actually going to get into this a little bit later, but this is key stuff. This is the rules. You can physically get on the app, try to get your first pass at 7 a.m. If you don't ride that pass, if you haven't used that pass, if that pass is for later in the day, then 2 hours after park opening, usually around 11 o'clock, you can do the process again and go on the app and get that second pass. Does this make sense? I'm hoping it does. Again, we're going to dig a little deeper, but just so you know, that's part of the rules. Next thing that is key here is your pass that you get on the app is going to be for the next available time. This is not you like, oh yeah, I want to ride Jungle Cruise at noon, you know, because we have lunch at 11 and that will be perfect. No, you do not get to arrange it. It is the next available time. So this is key when you arrange your park day, knowing that you don't want to kind of be that human ping pong ball. You don't want to be Jungle Cruise and then Space Mountain and then Splash Mountain and then Pirates. You don't want to be skipping and jumping everywhere. It'll wear you out unless you're an expert, unless you go all the time. But if you have kiddos, most likely you're not going to want to do that. So kind of knowing that you're doing the next available time, you kind of need to know that in your mindset. Does that make sense? Also, Disney really only wants you to have one pass at a time, unless you are stacking, which we were going to get into, which was in my previous videos, right? But that's you waiting that 2 hours. So if you got a pass at 7, and then you got another pass at 11, and you still haven't ridden it yet, 2 hours after 11, you can then get another pass. 2 hours after that, you could then get another pass. So you can keep stacking these passes to physically ride later. Hopefully this makes sense. So if you are someone who's like, I want to sleep in, I want to have breakfast at my resort, I want to go golfing, I mean, I don't know what, and you're not actually going to hit the park till, say, I don't know, dinner time, you could technically do this. You could start off 7 o'clock pass number 1. What would it be? 11 o'clock pass number 2. You still haven't ridden anything. 2 hours after 11 is what, 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock, get another pass. 2 hours after 1 o'clock is 3 o'clock. You could then have stacked 4 passes for you to ride as soon as you get to the park at 4 o'clock, dinner time, whatever it is. So every 2 hours, you can keep doing that if you haven't ridden anything yet. Those are kind of the rules. Again, we're going to dig a little deeper. And also, again, if this is too confusing, check out the other video because I take it very slowly. So Disney claims you're going to get roughly 2 or 3 rides per day at Disney using Genie Plus. Nina says you can get a lot more if you do it properly. This is going to require a little bit of concentration, a little bit of organization, and a little bit of research, but don't worry because I have all the videos for you to help you plan your game of attack. That is attack on Genie Plus, right? So let's keep going. The next word you're going to find out about, especially if you're on this app, is going to be individual lightning lane. Now this is different from the lightning lane, which is the physical lane you're going to wait in. This is something called individual lightning lane. Yes, the Disney geniuses behind this did not get very creative with the names. The individual lightning lanes is another paid for skip the line service. Are you guys with me? So you've got Genie Plus, you can pay for it and you can skip most of the rides. Then we have individual lightning lane, which is paid for, which allows you to skip one ride per park. Not just any one ride, it is the top ride at each of the 4 parks. Are you with me? So Genie Plus is going to get you most of the rides. Individual lightning lane is going to get you right now, currently, 7 Dwarf Mine Train, Rise of the Resistance, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Avatar Flights of Passage. That is 4 rides, 1 ride per park. But this is the kicker, guys. You have to pay for each ride individually. You don't get all 4. You get whatever 1 or 2 that you want. Does this make sense? So the rules per individual lightning lane is, again, it's a paid for service. The price is going to be dependent on who knows what. Disney's creativeness behind it all is going to be date-based, crowd-based, ride-based, date, whatever. Roughly about $15 to $30 per person per ride. That's right, you heard me. And you can only get up to 2 individual lightning lanes in a given day. So if you plan on hopping to all 4 parks, that means you can only ride 2 of those 4 top rides. But if you're just hopping from Magic Kingdom to Epcot, then you can get both Magic Kingdom and Epcot's top ride. You can get Guardians of the Galaxy and 7 Dwarf Mine Train, again, paying for each. It's not a combo deal, it's you're paying for each. Does this make sense? Also, the key thing here for individual lightning lane is you get to choose your time, which is different from Genie Plus. Genie Plus, next available time. Individual lightning lane, you get to pick and choose your time, which means if you are doing Rise of the Resistance and you also have a droid workshop and your Savi's workshop and you have a dinner reservation and blah, 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 and you don't want to pick the wrong time, you don't want to miss out on making your droids and all those crazy things, you can pick your time. So if you have dinner or dining reservations or droid building reservations at a certain time, then you would just make sure you pick your Rise of the Resistance time accordingly to your other reservations. Does this make sense? The other kicker here to individual lightning lane is anyone staying on Disney property, you get to get your individual lightning lanes at 7 a.m. So that means those of you on Disney property at 7 a.m., you get to do your Genie Plus 1 ride, and you get to pay and book up to 2 individual lightning lanes. All 3, get them at 7 a.m. If you are staying off property, you have to wait to get your individual lightning lane. You can get your individual lightning lanes at park opening. You don't have to be in the park or at the park, but at park opening, that's when you would then get on the app and secure it, which unfortunately, especially right now, those popular rides are going to be gone. So by staying off property, you've kind of missed out, sadly, on the individual lightning lanes, which is what makes staying on property just another perk. But hopefully you're with me. If you're on property, you can get up to 2 at 7 a.m. If you are off property, you have to wait till official park opening per that park for the park of the ride that you want to get. Does this make sense? The other rule that affects both Genie Plus and individual lightning lane is you can get one, you can get the other, or you can do both. Doing both, paying for both, is going to maximize your trip the most, right? Because this gets most of the rides, and then this is going to get the top tier rides. So you can, Hollywood Studios, again, you can do all the other rides at Hollywood Studios and then pay for Rise of the Resistance. Hopefully this is kind of making sense. There's 2 completely different systems, Genie Plus, individual lightning lane. They work on different rides. They're both paid for. They both have kind of sort of different rules, but they work together so you can maximize your vacation. Hopefully you're with me because we're going to keep going. The next question, of course, is cost. All right, Nina, you told us the cost of individual lightning lane. It's based on the date and the ride and the whatever. How much is Genie Plus. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I did this update in a previous video, but I don't know, what is it, like a month ago? They said that Genie Plus is just so popular, and it is, because it works. We'll get to it. Because Genie Plus is so popular, I don't think they can keep up with the flow of traffic. I think there's too many people purchasing Genie Plus. For some reason, they didn't expect that. And the lines for Genie Plus are too long. The lightning lanes for the ride, the Fast Pass lines, are just too long. So Disney came out and said they have to raise the cost of Genie Plus. So I'm here to tell you right now, the cost for Genie Plus now is date-based. It's gonna change each and every day. And they came out and said that October was gonna be a max of $22. But after October, price can be whatever it wants. At the point that I filmed this video, the highest price for Genie Plus right now is $29 per person per park day. Are you with me? Each day is going to be different. Today could be 29, tomorrow could be 35. Today is 29, tomorrow could be back to 15. So if you are listening to old videos, yes, even some of my older videos where I tell you Genie Plus is a flat rate of $15, that is not the case anymore. Genie Plus is now a date-based pricing, and it's kind of a secret. We don't know what the price is going to be for the next day or the day after. We don't know the price of Genie Plus for the week of your trip. It's all just fluctuating and changing daily. But just note that even though the price might say $29 or $22, it also needs to be plus tax. So you have to add tax on to that price point. Does this make sense? So Genie Plus could be $29 per person per park day, and individual lightning lane could be $29 per person to ride Rise of the Resistance. You guys do the math. You guys figure out if it's worth it to you or not. But Genie Plus and individual lightning lane are both flex pricing. The price today might not be the price tomorrow, which might not be the price next week. In fact, I highly suspect that Genie Plus, currently $29, could get even higher. So heads up on that. So now the next question is, okay, Nina, I get it. It's pricey, but it's the only way to skip the line, like you said earlier in the video. So Nina, how do I get Genie Plus? Well, this is another update, guys. The only way, and I repeat, only way for anybody to get Genie Plus right now is on the app, on your park day, each park day. Does this make sense? You can no longer add it to your package. You can no longer purchase it in advance. The only way to get Genie Plus is on each individual given park day. So if you're going to the parks from Monday to Friday, that means on Monday you purchase Genie Plus for Monday. On Tuesday you will purchase Genie Plus for Tuesday. On Wednesday you will purchase Genie Plus for Wednesday. Does this make sense? Hopefully you're with me. So now it comes to the point of, okay, I get it. That's how I get it. That's when I get it. But how do I physically get it? Like, can you show me, Nina? How do I actually get Genie Plus? It's actually super easy. The hardest part about Genie Plus is actually kind of navigating through the system and figuring out which rides to get. The purchasing of Genie Plus is, of course, easy because Disney wants you to purchase it. So you want to go on the My Disney Experience app. It's the app we keep talking about on your phone. You're going to open up the app, assuming you have an account. I'm assuming you do because you have a trip booked, right? Assuming you have an account, everything's logged in, all your tickets are in there, your whole party's in there, everything's linked up and synced up on the app, right? You guys with me? When you open the app, the very first screen that's going to like pop open is the home screen. That is the main screen. That is going to be the easiest way to purchase Genie Plus because it's going to be quicker and faster because it's the first screen. All you have to do is scroll down a little bit. There's going to be a purple little like segment there, and it's going to say purchase Genie Plus. Super easy, guys. You just click it. That's it. You click it and you follow the prompts. It's going to ask you who you want to purchase it for. Everybody with a park ticket, everyone with park pass reservations that day, everyone who's going to the park, click, click, click. Anyone who's going to ride the rides, right? Click, click, click. Click through your people and you purchase. Again, it is whatever price it was that day plus tax. You have to purchase it for each individual person, right? Mom, dad, brother, sister. So $29, $29, $29, $29 plus tax. Grand total, it's going to charge either a credit card or your account on file on your app. Does this make sense? Once you've purchased it, you're done. You're good to go. The other way to purchase this, again, through the app, it's the only way, is you can actually press the 3 dash lines in the corner, or you can press the plus sign on the bottom of the screen in the app, right? And either purchase through Tipboard or purchase through My Genie Day. Either way, it's the same price, it's the same purchasing process. It's just different, little segments throughout the app where you can physically purchase it, right? So no matter what you're gonna do, the only way to purchase is through the app. Whether it's through the home screen, the 3 dash lines, or the plus button, that is where you're physically gonna go to pay for Genie Plus. You guys with me? So a few little pointers here of people who have asked me questions. First, everyone in your party needs Genie Plus, meaning if mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, cousin, uncle, whoever, all want to skip the line with you, all want to ride the rides with you, all of them need Genie Plus. You can't just purchase it for mom and dad and kind of share it with this person. No, each person who wants to ride the rides needs to purchase Genie Plus. Maybe grandma and grandpa want to sit out on a couple of rides. That's fine. They still need Genie Plus for the other rides, right? Because it's one price for a bulk amount of rides. Now, but here's the kicker. If you have a little kiddo who is technically free, doesn't have a park ticket because they're under the age of 3, they don't need Genie Plus. In fact, you can't purchase them Genie Plus. They won't even show up because they don't have a park ticket. They don't have a park ticket. They don't have a park pass reservation. Does this make sense? So anyone under 3, they kind of just go with the flow. You do not have to purchase Genie Plus for the baby, for the youngest kiddo. You guys with me? So the next thing is, okay, Nina, I've purchased Genie Plus. We're going to get Genie Plus. How do I actually get the passes, right? So you purchase the Genie Plus, then again, 7 a.m., you have to physically get the pass on the app. So you've woken up, you've purchased Genie Plus, right? Continue, paid for, credit card, whatever, you've purchased it. You're waiting for your watch, okay, 6:50, 6:55, 6:59. Okay, 7 o'clock, let's go. We're gonna physically get those passes now. So again, on the app, you're gonna press the 3 dash lines in the corner. I am always talking about the 3 dash lines. At the very top is usually something called Tipboard. This is where you wanna go. One answer, Tipboard. Click on Tipboard. You go in there, you find your ride, you click Get Genie Plus Pass. It is super duper easy, but note a few things within the Tipboard, right? First, usually, at least for mine, the park always shows up is always Magic Kingdom. Just note there's a little button there where you can select to change the park. So you don't want to be on Magic Kingdom and you're over here searching for Frozen Ever After, which is not even at Magic Kingdom, it's at Epcot. So depending on the ride you want, what park you're going to, you want to make sure you go to the top right-hand corner and adjust the park so you're at the right park, right? Because at least my default is always Magic Kingdom. Now, the fact that you can switch the parks is super duper great for those of you who are hopping. I have a whole video on Genie Plus with hopping, but for those of you who might want to stack your passes for your second park, you know, to hop later in the day, you want to make sure you use that change park feature and get your passes for that second park, not, you know, again, scrolling and looking at the wrong rides. Also, the nice thing about Tipboard is when you're looking at the rides, you can actually see all the rides, right? You can see their current times, right? Their current standby wait times, and you can see all the currently offered Genie Plus times. You do not want to waste a pass on something that has like a 10-15 minute wait. You just do not. Keep scrolling until you find a ride you want to go on that has a long wait. That is the key. Use Genie Plus on rides with long waits. But I absolutely love Tipboard because not only can you see the wait times, you can see the Genie Plus times. Note, once you get a Genie Plus and something comes up, kiddo changes his mind, blah, 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 you can cancel that Genie Plus in the system. So note that you can do that once you've actually secured a ride. And I will warn you that if you go and you're like, yeah, Jungle Cruise, you know, 9:30 sounds great. But you're like, Dad, are you sure 9:30? Kiddo, 9:30. You guys like this, By the time you click through, it could have changed. It could change to 9:45 or 10:15. So note that you might have to secure some of these rides fast. For example, Slinky Dog, you want to do that fast. You don't want to confirm with everyone. Is that a good time? Just click yes, continue, whatever. So yeah, as you go through the process of getting those passes, just know that the times of the passes can and will change due to everyone else in the park at the resorts trying to get passes all at the same time. Are you guys with me? So it's super easy to purchase and it's super easy to actually secure your actual Genie Plus pass, which is for the ride later on the day. Does that make sense? So the next thing, of course, is, okay, Nina, I mean, it sounds good. You're skipping the line. I don't want to have to wait in line, right? But man, $29 per person per park day. This is getting really pricey. Do I actually need or want Genie Plus? I mean, like, is it worth it? That is always the next question. My answer is yes and no, ironically. Genie Plus is not required. You do not have to go to Disney World with Genie Plus. You can choose to wait in line. You can choose to wait in the standby line, but I firmly believe that it works, that it helps, especially if you do it correctly. And I know I'm not alone. I know Genie Plus is an easy system for us to hate because it is obnoxious and it can be frustrating and it can be too complicated. But in the end, it is the only way to skip the line. So yeah, do you need or want Genie Plus? I'm gonna go with yes. You kind of do, unless you're a family of 15 and you're there for a week and it's way too much money for you, then obviously you guys can do the math and budget and figure it out for yourself. But in general, yes, I think you do need or want Genie Plus, especially important if you have kiddos. Granted, people are like, well, the kiddie rides don't have a long wait, but they can. They can actually get a long wait, especially meeting characters. Characters can be like a 65-minute wait, you know, to meet Cinderella. Why put your kid through that when you can just buy a pass? I especially find Genie Plus good when it's crowded time, busy time, right? Like it is right now. And especially if you're a family, this is your once in a lifetime trip, or you're not going to go again for a couple of years. You're going to want to maximize your vacation. Unfortunately, this is a way to do that. Unfortunately, paying the system is a way to maximize your day. Is it perfect? No. Is it awesome? Not necessarily, but you do have to think about it this way. Is it worth it to you to pay $20, $25, $29 per person to skip 2 or 3 rides in a given day? Rides that were like over an hour wait. So if you wait 60 minutes on 3 rides, so that's 3 hours. Is it worth it to your family to spend $20, $25, $29 per person to save 3 hours in line? If that's a way to make you think, to realize if this is something that is worth it to you or not, think about it that way. Because even though I claim you can get more than 2 or 3 rides, if at bare minimum you get 2 or 3 rides and you used them on rides that were in the 60+ minute wait zone, is it worth it to you to save those 3 hours? To not have your kids in line for those 3 hours? Only you can decide. Nina says, yes. Yes, it's worth it. Is it worth it for everybody all the time? Maybe not, but only you can decide if it's worth it to you. But here are a few of my tips and tricks which have adjusted and changed throughout the year based on my experience with Genie Plus and just certain things that have come out. So let's go through my tips and tricks real quick. Ready? First tip, yes, purchase early. Get Genie Plus out of the way. You want to do this before 7 a.m. because you can secure your first pass at 7 a.m. Therefore, you want to actually purchase Genie Plus before 7 a.m. In fact, you can purchase it as early as midnight. And because in Disney's fine print, it says in subject, not guaranteed, subject to whatever, all their little fine print, I am wondering if Genie Plus at some point will sell out. Meaning if X number of people have already purchased it and you go to purchase it, there is a chance it could be gone. Has it happened yet? No. But we haven't experienced Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Eve yet. So I'm just saying there is a chance. Nina doesn't know. There is a chance that Disney decides they sold it to too many people and they cancel selling it for the day. So getting it earlier could indeed be better for your family, especially if you're going at a peak holiday season, all right? Next tip, always get your first pass at 7 a.m. Even if you're not riding until later in the day, even if you're not showing up until dinner and fireworks, even if you're not showing up till lunchtime, you want to absolutely get that first pass at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. is going to show you the majority of the passes. You're going to have the most to look at and to get at 7 a.m. So even though the 7 a.m. passes might be for 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock and you're not even going till 2, it doesn't matter because you can keep refreshing and refreshing until you find a pass that's at a time that you're going to physically be in the park. Then you press click. But you definitely want to try that at 7 o'clock because we just don't know. Passes like Slinky Dog could easily be in the 6 o'clock zone. To physically ride the ride at 6 o'clock could happen as early as 7:02, 7:03, doing the scroll. So always do that. Always aim to try to get that first pass at 7 a.m., even if you're not riding it until later in the day. And for those of you who are going to ask, I forgot to put it in my notes, passes are good for an hour. So if your pass is for 1:30, just note that you can ride it up until 2:30. Sometimes they give you a 5-minute leeway there, but yes, passes are good for an hour. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Next tip, have a game plan. You absolutely have to have a game plan. If you want to do the Disney way and only get 2 or 3 rides, then maybe you just wing it. If you want to do it the Nina way and get potentially 5 to 7 rides, yeah, you're going to want a game plan. You're going to want to kind of map it out and figure out what rides you want a Genie Plus and what rides tend to have a low wait that maybe you'll do standby. I have several itinerary game planning videos up on my channel. I have all 4 parks. I have parks dedicated just for you, for a game plan if you have kids, and I have game plans for just in general for all 4 parks. Check it out. Take notes, come up with a game plan. It's just one of my tips. Another tip is, again, you need to know the 2 different ways to get passes. Now, I touched about this earlier in the video. The first is you pass at 7 a.m. Perhaps you got a pass for 9:30, right? You go on that ride at 9:30, you get to get another pass. Get that pass for, say, 10:30. Once you go on that ride at 10:30, you can get another pass. You can keep doing what I call ride pass, ride pass until all the passes are gone. Does this make sense? So as long as you start at 7 a.m. and you get your first pass for say 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever it is, as soon as you ride that ride, you can get another pass. You ride that, get another pass, ride that, and does that make sense? Pass, ride, pass, ride. The second option is stacking, and that's what I kind of talked about earlier about if you're not showing up till later or you're hopping. You still want to get that first pass at 7 a.m., but maybe that pass isn't until like 2:30. But you got it at 7 a.m., but it's not till 2:30. And then 2 hours after park opening, you get another pass. So at 11 o'clock, you can get another pass for say 3 o'clock, right? But you still haven't ridden them yet, they're still there. Then at 1 o'clock, you can get another pass for say 3:30, right? Then by the time this pass started, you already have 3 passes that you're ready to use up. That is called stacking. You can get a new pass every 2 hours to stack to use later in the day. Those are the 2 ways to do it. Pass, ride, or stacking. Next tip, you don't want to waste your passes on things with low weights. You would be surprised on what rides have low weights and which rides do not. So you definitely want to pay attention to tip board, but you want to use these passes on longer weights, right? If you have between Haunted Mansion, that's a 65-minute wait, and I don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean, that's a 35-minute wait, obviously you want to save the 65 minutes and just wait standby for the 35 minutes. It's going to be a give and take between Genie Plus and waiting in line, but you want to pass the rides with the longest wait because that's how you're going to maximize. This makes sense? Hopefully it does. Next tip, you want to research before you go. Not just watch my itinerary and game plan videos, but you can go in the app under tip board a couple of days before your trip, a week before your trip, whatever it is, and you can look at the rides and you can look at them at different times of the day, and you can see which rides have long waits, which rides no longer have Genie Pluses because people got them all already. You can kind of keep an eye on this and map it out and note that, you know, Haunted Mansion always has a longer wait than Pirates of the Caribbean. Jungle Cruise always has long waits because they updated the ride. Peter Pan blows my mind. It's the shortest ride on the planet, always has a super duper long wait. Knowing these things, jotting them down, highlighting them, whatever you need to do to come up with your research and your game plan, absolutely do this because this is how you're going to maximize Genie Plus while in the parks. Next tip, even though you can only pass 1 ride per day, doesn't mean you can only ride it once. You can absolutely pass it once, wait standby for it later. So, for example, I'm staying at the, Disney resorts, I'm doing rope drop, I'm the first one in the park, early entry. I already have a Genie Plus for Jungle Cruise, and that's great. But I'm in the park, I can quickly ride Jungle Cruise right now with a 10-minute wait, knowing I have a Genie Plus pass for it later so I can ride it again. Does this make sense? Same thing with any ride. You can, walk into the park, rope drop, Splash Mountain, go do Splash Mountain, and then you can ride it again with a Genie Plus. So even though you can only Genie Plus the ride once, doesn't mean you only have to ride it once. You want to maximize the day by using Genie Plus and waiting in line. The other tip, I said it earlier, try to avoid the human ping pong ball, as I call it, especially if you're a large group or you have kiddos. Giant ping pong ball is going from this area to this area and back again and bloop, bloop, bloop. No. Watch my game plan videos. I'm going to show you how to follow the map, the park map, and hit up all the rides, the key rides in each area while you're following the map. So you don't have to be a ping pong ball. If you use all these other theme park apps and things that kind of teach you how to Genie Plus and what rides to ride next, you'll notice a lot of them make you do that ping pong system. Try to avoid it if you can. It will wear you out. Next tip, if you have issues at all with Genie Plus, you only lets you purchase for 3 out of the 4 people. only will let you get rides for 3 out of the 4 people, says you can't purchase, won't let you get a pass, whatever the issues are, and there will be issues, there can be issues, don't waste time at regular guest services. Don't waste time talking to just the ride cast member. You want to go to the blue umbrellas. You will see them. They are layered throughout the park. There are special cast members dedicated specifically to help you with Genie Plus, and they're under these giant blue umbrellas. They're everywhere. If you have any issues at all, get yourself into the park, go to the blue umbrellas. It would let me get a pass for Haunted Mansion for everyone, but you know, Grandpa, I don't know what's going on. Can you get Grandpa a pass so we can ride together? Usually they'll say, yep, let me hook you up. No big deal. Blue umbrellas. Another key is to learn the app. Know the app. So when you're in the park and you're kind of flustered and you're like, I don't know what to do, and the kids are screaming and the husband's like, what are you doing next? What are we doing next? Know the app. Study the app before you go. I have a My Disney app tutorial video. Watch it. Take notes. Have your phone out while you watch it and scroll through as I scroll through so you can learn how to use the app. Knowing the app is going to be key for your Disney vacation in general, but it will also help with Genie Plus. Other tip is, yes, I keep having these tips about my videos, but you want to make sure you watch my other videos that are dedicated to Genie Plus and something else. I have a video just on Genie Plus and hopping. So if you have a hopper ticket, watch that video. I have a video on Genie Plus with families. So if you are bringing a family with you, little kiddos, teenagers, multi-generational, grandma and grandpa, all the questions you might have regarding Genie Plus is gonna be in that video. I have so many videos kind of segmented out and dedicated to a certain type of situation. You want to make sure you watch those videos because that's just going to help you even further. And of course, my final tip is just to remember, none of this is guaranteed. Just because you purchase Genie Plus doesn't mean you're going to skip the line on all the rides. Disney says 2 to 3 rides in general. Nina says more if you plan ahead. But none of it is guaranteed. There is a chance you get there and maybe you weren't quick enough and you weren't fast enough for whatever reason and you didn't get Genie Plus for the ride of your choice. It kind of just is what it is. You just got to move on from it and come up with a different game plan, a different situation. You are going to have to mix and match skipping the line using Genie Plus and just waiting in line, which is why you want to do that research so you know which rides to skip the line for and which ones to wait in line for. Hopefully this makes sense. Sadly, this video actually got quite long. I'm sorry about that, guys. I was trying to streamline all the answers and the questions into one video. I did the best I can. I hope you liked this video, guys. I hope you appreciated it. I hope you found it useful. Again, if you already know Genie Plus, this probably wasn't the video for you. But if you're a Disney beginner, this is a first time using Genie Plus, or you just wanted that updated information, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it useful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications. Like this video, please. And comment, let me know, was this video helpful? Did you like how I just kind of took the nooks and crannies of all the updates and put it into one video? Or are you old school? Do you prefer my original video and you wish Nina got back out the straws? If you've seen those videos, you know what I'm talking about. But just let me know, was this helpful? Not so much? Yes, make more of these types of things. As always, your comments are super helpful and they help me figure out which the next video should be that I make. But as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina out.